This is IGN. Let's talk about everything Sony Pictures revealed at CinemaCon 2026. Welcome to your IGN Daily Update. But first, a reboot of Escape from New York is now in the works at StudioCanal. According to The Hollywood Reporter, StudioCanal announced this new take on the 1981 John Carpenter favorite starring Kurt Russell at CinemaCon 2026. Escape from New York imagines a world circa 1997 in which Manhattan has been converted into a giant maximum security prison. Interestingly enough, this isn't the first time StudioCanal has set its sights on Escape from New York. The company was previously attached to develop a reboot franchise with Joel Silver's Silver Pictures back in 2013. Robert Rodriguez was also attached to a reboot for 20th Century Studios in 2017 and Radio Silence in 2022. But it's unclear at this point if any of those attempts have morphed into this newly announced project or just died on the vine as no creatives have been announced just yet. Meanwhile, Paddington 4 was announced to be in the works by the studio. StudioCanal also revealed a reboot of Joe Dante's 1981 film The Howling, and that it's partnering with Blueprint Films on an adaptation of Matt Haig's novel The Midnight Library. Finally, StudioCanal announced an original thriller by Sean Byrne and starring Melissa Leo, titled The Mannequin. And Avengers Doomsday is reportedly in post-production, with Avengers Secret Wars now in pre-production. Variety outlined the various projects in the works at co-directors Anthony and Joe Russo's production company Agbo. Avengers Doomsday is set to hit theaters on December 18, 2026, with Secret Wars due out a year later on December 17, 2027. Sony Pictures was back at CinemaCon 2026, and its presentation was filled with updates and reveals from some heavy hitters. There was a lot discussed during the presentation, and we've gathered all the biggest news right here to ensure you don't miss a thing. First up, Spider-Man. Sony Pictures has revealed 2 new posters for upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe movie Spider-Man Brand New Day and shown new footage during CinemaCon 2026. The Destin Daniel Cretton-directed superhero sequel sees Tom Holland reprise his role as Peter Parker in Spider-Man, with Zendaya, Sadie Sink, Jacob Batalon, John Bernthal, Trammell Tillman, Michael Mando, and Mark Ruffalo also set to star in the movie. Chris McKenna and Eric Summers wrote the script. After the record-breaking global success of Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Brand New Day marks an entirely new chapter for Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The posters were revealed as new footage was shown at CinemaCon 2026, and you can go to IGN.com right now for a roundup of everything revealed, including a description of the new footage. According to Variety, Holland described Brand New Day as the, quote, most emotional Spider-Man we've ever made, and the most grown-up. Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters on July 31st, 2026. Now, everything non-Spider-Man related. One of the biggest surprises of the night was the announcement of an R-rated animated film based on Bloodborne. The film is being produced by Jacksepticeye and got a lot of cheers from the audience. Jumanji Open World is officially the name of the sequel to 2019's Jumanji: The Next Level, and we were shown a hilarious clip from the film that's set to be released in theaters on December 25th, 2026. Zach Kreger's Resident Evil showed up at CinemaCon, and the director had a few words to share about the upcoming film, alongside revealing a small look at the horrors to come. He began by saying that, quote, he has put an embarrassing number of hours into playing these games, and the franchise is absolutely the gold standard for survival horror. He then emphasized that the film will feature the pacing and atmosphere of the games, but it wouldn't have narrative gymnastics like in Weapons or Barbarian. Resident Evil will be released in theaters on September 18th, 2026. Sony debuted a new trailer for Insidious Out of the Further, which will be released in theaters on August 21st, 2026. We learned more about The Social Reckoning, and according to director Aaron Sorkin, it's a real David and Goliath story that's based on the 2021 Facebook leak by whistleblower Frances Haugen. Mikey Madison played Haugen, and we were shown a clip where she's speaking to Jeremy Allen White's Jeff Horowitz of the Wall Street Journal about this story. Jeremy Strong's Mark Zuckerberg is also shown, and he's seen with an advisor played by Bill Burr. The Social Reckoning will be released in theaters on October 9th, 2026. While we weren't treated to any new details, images, or footage from the Legend of Zelda movie, Sony did confirm that filming has officially been wrapped and work progresses on the film set to debut in theaters on May 7, 2027. Helldivers, which will be released in theaters on November 10, 2027, got a quick update at CinemaCon, confirming director Justin Lin was just in Sweden meeting with the game developers at Arrowhead Game Studios. Furthermore, the team is off to New Zealand in a few weeks to start building the film. TriStar showed up with 3 of its big films, Clara and the Sun, The Nightingale, and Grand Gear. Taika Waititi's Clara and the Sun will debut in theaters on October 23, 2026. The Nightingale, which is based on the book from Kristen Hanna, has just started filming and will tell the story of 2 sisters, played by Dakota and Elle Fanning, in occupied France during World War II. The film will arrive on February 12, 2027. And Takashi Yamazaki's Grand Gear will open on February 18, 2028, and is produced by J.J. Abrams. We saw a first clip of the film, and it was giving big Pacific Rim vibes, as we saw giant robots or armored warriors fighting kaiju in a city. And finally, Buds is an upcoming animated film that explores what happens when plants break their rule of not talking to humans. It's a centuries-old rule that is broken when our hero has to save a friend. Learn what happens next when Buds is released in theaters on December 22, 2027. That's your IGN Daily Update. My name is Tony Jackson, and if you want more news on your favorite games and entertainment topics, make sure to visit us at IGN.com. You can also download our free app on your phone or console and subscribe to our weekly podcasts through the podcast service of your choice.
Spoken Layer.